Perfect. Woo! Definitely excited for this. Definitely wasn't expecting to find this at Target. I'm glad they, every now and then they bring out pretty good deck sets from the depths of their storage room, so I'm grateful they finally pulled out these guys, because I know they've had them before. Hopefully they can pull out the Noble Knights one, the little round tables. There was one that had the seal of Orichalcos as a little booster on the front, like a promotional card. That'd be pretty based. But in any case, let's go ahead and get these suckers opened up. We'll do what we usually do. Go through the first box pretty in depth, going over each card. And then we'll just kind of showcase briefly the other two boxes. Unfortunately, we just started the Cyber Dragon deck not too long ago, so not really sure how much help the support will be as we have most of the stuff, but I think the Dark Magician cards will be very helpful. And I believe also there's an Odd Eyes deck in here, so that might actually come in handy, getting all those cards. There. All right. We'll dive right in. I was going to say that box was a lot taller than I was expecting it to be. Very nice. Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon, and Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. I wasn't sure if there'd be like tokens or bonus stuff in here, so let's... No? Pretty good box. Pretty tall, too. Definitely I'm going to store a lot of the cards and loot in here. Alright, we'll move these two suckers out of the way. We'll just go through this left to right. Open this up. Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Comes Dark Magician while in the field or in the grave. Can't target spells and traps you control with card effects and can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects. This is mostly to protect Eternal Soul, but Dark Magic Circle also getting some nice protection would be pretty cool. So that's helpful. Apprentice Illusion Magician. Definitely wanted to grab a couple copies of her just because she's pretty easy to summon. Special summon her by just pitching a card from hand. Normal special summon, add a Dark Magician from deck to hand. When a Dark Spellcaster monster battles an opponent's monster, quick effects send her from hand to grave to give that monster 2,000 attack during damage calculation only. It's very nice, little hand trap, but also easy to summon on the field. Dark Magical Circle. It's activated. Excavate the top 3 from deck, add a Dark Magician or a spell and trap that mentions him to hand. Place the rest on the top of the deck in any order. Dark Magician is normal or special summon to the field. Target a card your opponent controls and banish it. Ah, the Eternal Soul. Very nice. I personally prefer the Secret Rare printing, but the Ultra Rare, I think it definitely gives the hieroglyphic a little bit more shine, or kind of lets the details kind of stick out. Hey, what's going on, Zeniku? Yeah, the monster is great on Duel Links too. I've ran into her a couple times on Duel Links, thinking I'm clever, swinging over the Dark Magician, then immediately just get blasted because another 2k attack was added. Apprentice Illusion is no laughing matter. Eternal Soul. Every Dark Magician in the monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Face-up card leaves the field. Destroy all monsters you control. Activate one of these effects. Special summon a Dark Magician from hand or grave. Add a Dark Magic attack or 1,000 knives from deck to hand. Very terrifying. Magician Navigation. Ooh, this is nice, getting a nice little rarity bump on this. Special summon a Dark Magician from hand. Special summon a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster from deck. Control Dark Magician. Banish it from the grave. On a different turn, target one face-up spell and trap your opponent controls. Effects are negated until the end of the turn. The Dark Magician, of course. Dark Magician Girl. Magician's Robes. 2 more Dark Magicians. More Magician's... Okay, good. I was hoping Magician's Rod was in here. 2 of them. That's perfect for the Dark Magician deck. Skilled Dark Magician. Those spell canners. Woo! Legendary Knights. I kind of wish these guys would also be rarity bumped, but beggars can't be choosers. I think this is the first time I've had all 3 of them. I think I had Hermos, but not the other 2. Timaeus. They all must be summoned with Legend of Heart. When it's special summon, target a face-up spell and trap on the field, banish it. Target for an attack, target a spell in the graveyard, set that target. Critias. Oh, same thing. Target a trap in the grave, set that target. It can be activated this turn. And then Hermos. Whoa! Target face-up spell trap. Banish that target once per turn when this face-up card is target an effect monster in the grave until the end phase. This card's name becomes that target's original name. Replace its effects with that card's effect. Wow. That's pretty terrifying. Breaker the Magical Warrior, a classic. Magic Exemplar. Big Shield Gardna. Absolute Crusader. I don't think I've seen this one before. For level 5 or higher monster, special summon, tribute this face-up card to destroy that level 5. Oh! That's kind of terrifying. Oh, you get 2 of them. Dark Magic Curtain, Illusion Magic, Dark Magic Expanded, Dark Magic Inheritance, 1,000 Knives, Dark Magic Attack, Eye of Timaeus, definitely need a few more of these. The Fang of Critias, the Claw of Hermos, Legend of Heart. Woo! Very cool. Swords Revealing Light, Pot of Duality, Reinforcement of the Army, Dark Renewal. What does this one do? Opponent normal or special summons a monster, target one of those monsters in a spellcaster you control, send both to the grave, special summon a dark spellcaster from deck or graveyard. Terrifying. Tyrant Wing, Dark Paladin, Amulet Dragon, Dark Magician Girl, need another copy of her. Doom Virus, Tyrant Burst, Mirror Force. Wasn't there a Magic Cylinder Dragon as well, or am I mistaken? Or no, it's a... Isn't there one for Ring of Destruction? That might be what I'm thinking of. Time Magic Hammer, Rocket Hermos Cannon, Bow, Goddess Bow, Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. Yeah, so a lot of these fusions are special summoned with their respective spells. Very cool. That's pretty cool. Doesn't have the Timaeus. There is a, was it Timaeus the Knight of Destiny? There is a Legendary Knight fusion, but I guess we didn't get him in that set. Must be a different one. On to the Cyber Dragon one. Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Cyber Dragon plus 1 monster in the extra monster zone. First be special summoned by sending the above cards from either field to the graveyard. Original attack, this card becomes 1,200 by the number of fusion materials used for special summon. Pretty terrifying. Ooh, nice ultra rare Cyber Repair Plant. Cyber Network. Chimera Tech Rampage. That's a nice ultra. Cyber Dragon Infinity. Good reprint there. Cyber Dragon Zwei. Dry. I don't know why they have it like that. Zwei, Dry, Cyber, and then Zwei, Dry, and Cyber again. 3 core. That's pretty intense. Proto Cyber. 2 Valley. Probably could have given us 3, but oh well. Cyber Phoenix. Cyber Dinosaur. Eltonin. You get 2 of them. That's intense. Armored Cyborn. Machina Fortress. That's a nice one. 2 more repair plants. Nice little searcher if you have Cyber Dragon in the grave, but Cyber Emergency is my preferred go-to. There was a Ring of Destruction Dragon in the Kaiba Collector box. Good to know. So this is why Zeniku's here. He helps cover all the gaps that I didn't know about. The Kaiba Collector box. That's pretty intense. Cybernetic Fusion Support. 3 Evolution Burst. That's terrifying. 2 Power Bond. 2 Overload. A Future Fusion. Limit Removal and Armored Unit. A couple of Mirror Forces. That's pretty intense. Over Dragon, Fortress Dragon, Rampage, and then 2 Novas. Wow. Cyber N, Cyber Twins. Chimera Tech Over. I do have quite a few decks that are now running Ptolemaeus plus Nova and Infinity, so restocking up on my Nova cards is going to be helpful. Also, the Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, too. Oh, yeah, that's right. What was that? Battle of Chaos? That was one of the newer ones. That one's pretty cool as well. Alright, time for the Odd Eyes one. Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum. It's a normal monster, but it does have a pendulum effect. If an Odd Eyes card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon one Odd Eyes monster from a hand, deck, or grave. Which kind of does help out, because you can just use Sky Iris to pop your own stuff to then immediately trigger. Oh yeah, alt art. And it's an Ultra too. Battles an opponent's monster, double any battle damage it inflicts to it. That's so cool. It's such a cool card. Reduce the battle damage you take from an attack involving a pendulum monster controlled to 0. During the end phase, destroy this card. Add a pendulum monster with 1500 or less attack from deck to hand. Always forget about that. Alt-Art Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Very cool. Alt-Art Clearwing Synchro Dragon. 2 dark monsters on the field except for tokens. If it's fusion summoned, make this card gain attack equal to one opponent's special summon monster until the end of the turn. Target a level 5 or higher monster opponent controls until the end of this turn. Copies its name and effects. If this fusion summon card is destroyed, destroy our opponent's special summon monster. So if your opponent's really special summoning, this is a nice little, just punishes them with the attack gain, effect copying, and then just Dark Hole, or I guess Raigeki during the end phase. Time to swing into action with the Dimension Dragons. That is right, Zeneku. I forgot about that. Swing into action. Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Once per turn, when another level 5 or higher monster activates its effect on the field, negate and destroy. Once per turn, when a monster effect is activated that targets a level 5 or higher monster on the field, quick effect, negate the activation, destroy it. This card's effect destroys a monster, gains attack equal to destroy a monster's original attack until the end of the turn. This nice little punishing of monster effects. And then the Alt-Art Dark Rebellion Dragon. Try and get better lighting here. This one's really cool. Attach 2 materials from this card to target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes halved. This card gains that lost attack. You can keep activating this too, so that's pretty cool. Detach 2 materials. Oh, I thought it was 1 material detached, but still pretty cool. More Odd Eyes Pendulums. Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes. Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. Pendulum summoned card inflicts battle damage to the opponent by attacking. Burn them equal to the number of Odd Eyes cards in your Pendulum Zone times 1200. What? Times 1200. Okay. What is this? Sword Soul? Getting some odd burn values here. Pendulum effect. Once per turn, when an attack is declared involving your face-up monster and an opponent's monster, if you have an Odd Eyes card in your other Pendulum Zone, make that monster control gain 1200 attack until the end of the battle phase. Interesting. Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. It's like a little mini Odd Eyes. Once per turn, quick effect, target a face-up monster on the field that was special summoned from the extra deck. Effects are negated until the end of the turn. Once per turn during the end phase, opponent activated a card or effect this turn that targeted an Odd Eyes Pendulum monster you control. No other cards. While this card was in your Pendulum Zone, special summon this card. If you do, place a fade-up Odd Eyes Pendulum monster from the extra deck into the Pendulum Zone. Bit of a niche activation, but being able to recover stuff from extra deck is pretty nice. Another Phantom Dragon. Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon. This one's like a little tiny guy. Face-up Odd Eyes Pendulum monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect. Destroy 1 card in your Pendulum Zone. Place 1 face-up Odd Eyes from the extra deck into the Pendulum Zone. While an Odd Eyes card is in your Pendulum Zone, quick effect, target an Odd Eyes monster control. First time it will be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. It is not. Nice little quick effect protection there. That's pretty cool. Phantom can do a lot. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not so much a Phantom, more as a fighting force. Performer Pal Odd Eyes Light Phoenix. Quick effect tributed to target a Performer Pal you control, gains 1000 attack. Declares a direct attack. Destroy a card in your Pendulum Zone. Special summon this card. So a nice little attack interceptor. Odd Eyes Unicorn. Normal special summon, target a Performer Pal monster in the graveyard, gain life points equal to its attack. Okay. Very nice. Once while it's in the Pendulum Zone, when your Odd Eyes monster declares an attack, target one other Performer Pal monster you control. The attacking monster gains attack equal to the original attack of that monster that it had on the field. Okay, not bad. Ooh, Skull Crobat Joker. And we're getting multiples here. I was going to say, I'm definitely needing a couple more copies. I did finally get a playset, but I immediately had to use it for Pendulum Magicians. So more Skull Crobats is very nice. When it's normal summoned, add a Performer Pal monster, Magician Pendulum monster, or Odd Eyes monster from deck to hand, obviously except itself. and its pendulum effect. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except Performer Pal, Magician Pendulums, or Odd Eyes monsters. Can't be negated. Still pretty cool. Performer Pal Rain Goat instead of Raincoat. That's kind of clever. YuGiOh Golem. It's in a U shape. Noble Dragon Magician. Oh, nice. We're getting some of the Dragon Magicians. I think I need a couple copies of her. Odd Eyes Gravity. Very nice. There's the Sky Iris. It's all these multiple copies. We're getting a lot of good stuff here. Odd Eyes Fusion. Odd Eyes Advent. Spiral Flame Strike. Couple copies. Couple Duelist Alliance. Pendulum Impenetrable. Cards in the Pendulum Zone can't be destroyed by card effects that negate anything that targets a card in the Pendulum Zone. Interesting. Pendulum Storm. Pop your Pendulum Zones and then destroy a spell or trap your opponent controls. Pot of Riches, very nice. Terraforming. Oh, multiple copies. Oh, this must have been before it got limited. Echo Oscillation. Interesting. Destroy a card in the Pendulum Zone, draw one card. Pendulum Reborn, very nice. Pendulum Switch, that's another good one. Hey, Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. Hopefully he comes back to one. I feel like that'd be okay. Odd Eyes Vortex, very much needed him. Gatling Ghoul, I like this guy. He's just funny. Very cool. Clearwing, Meteor Burst, very nice card to have. Dark Rebellion, Absolute Dragon. I was going to say, we're getting all the dragon cards I need for the Pendulum Magicians, but also going to splash these into an Odd Eyes deck if we ever make one. All right, there we go. We'll get the other decks out here, just for the sake of showing them off. Boop, boop, boop. Definitely going to be making an Odd Eyes deck now. I really like, even back then, all the stuff that this deck had going for it is pretty good. Plus, I just like that everything's coming in multiples. So I'm really able to fill up my playsets pretty quickly, especially since we got 3 boxes. Because I figured everything would just be a one-of, but if we're getting 2 ofs. Now I've got multiple playsets here, so this will actually cover a lot more bases than I thought. Hey, what's going on, Jason? Thanks for stopping by. I kind of want to cover some of the other Odd Eyes stuff. Absolute Dragon. When any player's monster declares an attack, detach material, negate the attack, special summon an Odd Eyes monster from hand or grave. XC summon card is sent to the graveyard, special summon an Odd Eyes monster from extra deck. That's actually pretty nice. Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion. Once per turn before damage calculation, if battles an opponent's monster, attach material. Change the attack of that face opponent's monster to 0. If you do, it gains attack equal to the original attack of that said monster. During the battle phase, return this card to the extra deck, special summon up to 2 face-up Supreme King Dragon and or Supreme King Gate Pendulum monsters from the extra deck in defense position. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. When special summon, target a card in your Pendulum Zone, special summon it. Can't attack for the rest of the turn. The main thing about this is monsters in your opponent's possession can't activate their effects during the battle phase. Tenpai Dragons like to use this as well, just because it's a fire dragon. And that battle phase lockout is pretty nice. Jason says, I remember seeing this years ago. I was happy to get the Cyber Dragon support. Yeah, there's some pretty good stuff in here. Almost feels like it's its own Cyber Dragon structure deck. Like these could have been all sold separately, but very cool to have. Alright, what's the Supreme King Dragon Clearwing do? Synchro Summon, destroy all face-up monster opponent controls. Okay, that's terrifying. Once per turn before damage calculation, battles an opponent's monster, destroy that monster, burn them equal to that destroyed monster's original attack. If it's sent to the graveyard, tribute... Oh, if it's just in the graveyard, tribute 2 Supreme King Dragon monsters, special summon it back to the field. Doesn't banish when it leaves the field either, which is nice. Gatling Ghoul. If it's Fusion Summon, burn your opponent for 200 for each card on the field. Fusion Summon using a Pendulum monster's material, destroy a monster your opponent controls. And then burn them for equal to that a monster's original attack. A lot of burn damage going on. I didn't realize Perform Pal and Odd Eyes were able to put out so much effect damage. I thought they were just a run-of-the-mill Pendulum deck. Special summon target monster, face-up opponent, face-up attack opponent's hand, spell or trap or another monster effect is activated, shuffle 1 Pendulum monster from the extra deck into the deck to negate and destroy. Very nice. Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. Currently banned, sadly. But fusion summoned or special summoned by attributing the above cards you control. Don't use polymerization. Once per turn, target one other monster in the field or in the grave till the end phase. Copies its name and effect. And if it attacks the defense position, monster does piercing damage. This got in trouble for stuff similar to, Assembled Nightingale? I know they copied the Tyrant Neptune for a bunch of burn damage, but it was, I think it was Assembled Nightingale was the card that was mostly facilitating it, as well as get a Nightingale on the field, tribute it for Neptune, burn, and then Starving Venom would do the same, just copy the effect and then burn again. Very terrifying, very tragic. Pendulum Switch, a couple copies of that. Face a Pendulum Monster from the extra deck, or a Pendulum Monster in the grave. Very helpful. I like that it has those sort of specifications that I can grab from multiple places. Duelist Alliance. If there's a card in the Pendulum Zone, add a Pendulum Monster or Pendulum Spell and Trap from deck to hand. Very cool. It's kind of weird to say a Pendulum Monster. Any idea what year this came out in? I want to say like 2017 or 2018. Because it says extra monster zone for the Cyber Dragon one, so that means it has to be after the Link era. So I want to say, and I know the Supreme King extra deck stuff came out in Code of the Duelist. So I want to say like 2018 or super late 2017. If Zeneku, if you're still out there, if you want to fact check on that for me, go to... I don't know if Snopes.com would have the exact date listed, but Spiral Flame Strike. Control an Odd Eyes monster, target and pop a card in the field, or add to your hand a level 7 Odd Eyes monster from deck, or face up extra deck if it's a Pendulum monster. Very cool. Odd Eyes Advent. Oh, it can ritual summon any dragon ritual monster from hand or graveyard. That's pretty impressive. Tribute Pendulum monsters from hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed that ritual monster. Opponent controls 2 or more monsters and you have nothing in terms of monsters. You can also send Odd Eyes monsters from extra deck to grave. Excuse me. Very nice. Very powerful. I might grab the, Pendulum Graph, the new ritual Pendulum monster Odd Eyes got. Definitely want to use him in a deck. That'd be pretty cool. We also got our own Odd Eyes Fusion. It's just Odd Eyes Dragon, Pendulum Dragon, though, in there. Kind of sad. I kind of wish there was another monster just in there, but... Fusion summon a Dragon Fusion from the extra deck using monsters from hand or field. Opponent controls 2 or more monsters and you control no monsters. You can also use up to 2 Odd Eyes monsters in your extra deck as fusion material. That's pretty cool. Sky Iris. Opponent cannot target Magician, Perform Pal, or Odd Eyes cards in the Pendulum Zone with card effects. You can target one other face-up card you control, destroy it. If you do, add an Odd Eyes card from deck to hand. Yeah, Sky Iris is pretty cool. Not an Odd Eye or Pendulum card by name, but Terraforming does help. Don't remember, but I'll check. Thank you, Zeneku. Shout out to the goat Zeneku for helping me figure out these decks a little bit better. Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon. This was the OG ritual. I like the little gravity he's doing there. I don't know if he's hovering or if he's just moving stuff that's in his little like claw range. Ritual summon it with Odd Eyes Advent. When this card is special summon, return all spells and traps your opponent controls to the hand. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. Your opponent must pay 500 life points to activate card effects. Oh, that's interesting. Got like a 2017. Oh, really? Well, there you go. 2017 was the year. That's pretty... That must have been like a late year release then. Huh. That's pretty cool. Like the Odd Eyes Flare Metal or, Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. Making your opponent pay life points whenever they do effects. I also like the ability of your opponent can't respond to it, but also their entire just giant Trunade, no response. That's terrifying. Kind of wish there were more Pendulum tuners, but I'll take the Noble Dragon. Unless you have a Magician card in your other Pendulum Zone, destroy this card. That's tragic. Can't be used as synchro material unless it's for a synchro summon of a dragon synchro. Understandable. It's used as synchro material unless all synchro materials are odd eyes monsters. Place this card on the bottom of the deck. If it's used. Okay. This card is in the hand or grave. Target one level 7 or higher odd eyes monster control. Reduce its level by 3. Special summon this card. Oh, that's interesting. So that's how you would get to Meteor Burst, is reduce one of your odd eyes cards and then immediately go into it. Odd Eyes Arc Dragon has great art, says Jason. It really does. This is super cool. It's basically just a normal version of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, but it's got the big crystals on the back, so that's really neat. Get 2 copies of Noble Dragon. Going to the bottom of the deck, it really isn't the end of the world, as you can still search it out with stuff like Skull Crobat. YuGiOh Golem, once per turn during the main phase. Pendulum summon this turn. Fusion summon a fusion monster. Using this card control, and dragon monsters you control as material. Oh, that's interesting. I might have to experiment with that. Rain Goat. Card or effect is activated that would inflict damage to you. Quick effect, discard this card to make that effect damage to you 0 during the main phase. Quick effect, discard this card to target a Performer Pal or Odd Eyes card you control. This turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. That's interesting. Nice little protection, but also being able to just reduce effect damage. Obviously, Skull Crobat with the search. I love having 2 of them in this deck. That's really nice. I like everything's a 2 of. I don't think we covered the Supreme King Dragon. Odd Eyes. Should be 2 Supreme King Dragon monsters. Special summon this from the hand. If your Pendulum monster battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage inflicts your opponent is doubled. During the battle phase, quick effect, tribute this card to special summon up to 2 face-up Supreme King Dragon and or Gate Pendulum monsters from extra deck in defense position. Tribute a Supreme King Dragon monster to destroy this card, and then add a Pendulum monster with 1500 lesser attack from deck to hand. Very cool. That's pretty powerful. I love how they all have similar takes on their original, like, non-Supreme King counterparts. They just have their own spin on the effect. Sometimes I feel like the Supreme King art is a bit more terrifying, or the effect. Like the Clearwing one, just being able to blow up your opponent's field. Very violent, very dangerous. Just we'll open up the other Dark Magician. There's a few other cards I wanted to look at again. What did Magician's Robe do? During your opponent's turn, discard a spell or trap to special summon a Dark Magician from deck. During your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell or trap effect while this card is in the grave, special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Interesting. So more utility during your opponent's turn, but still pretty terrifying. I like the Legendary Knights. I might look into making a deck around them because they do look really cool, but at the very least they are just neat. Absolute Crusader. That wasn't a once per... It wasn't a once per turn. That's terrifying. What? This looks like a 5Ds era card. A lot of 5Ds era warrior and spellcasters had that sort of armor plating. Each time a spell card is activated, place 2 spell counters on this card. When that spell resolves once per turn, remove any number of spells counters to special summon a spellcaster from hand or grave whose level is equal to the number of spell counters you removed. That's terrifying. Especially when it's placing 2. So if you really are going off, you can just revive some pretty good stuff. Alright, let's take a look at the Legendary Dragons here. There are 3 Dark Magicians. 1 Dark Magician girl, and then like 2 of the Robe, 2 of the Rod, 3 of the Skilled Black Magician, and then 1 to 2 of a lot of other stuff. It's always treated as Legendary Dragon Timaeus. Target a Dark Magician monster control. Fusion summon a fusion monster from the extra deck that lists that monster on the field as fusion material, using it as the fusion material. Very cool. Fang of Critias. It's also treated as Legendary Dragon Critias. Send a trap from hand or field to the grave that is listed on a fusion monster that can only special summon, with the Fang of Critias. If that card is set, reveal it and special summon that fusion monster from the extra deck. Very cool. The Claw of Hermos. Treated as Legendary Dragon Hermos. Who would have thought? Send 1 monster from hand or field to the graveyard of the type that is listed on a fusion monster that can only be special summoned with the Claw of Hermos. If that card is set, reveal it, then special summon that fusion monster. Okay, so it goes by monsters. Legend of Heart. This looks really cool. Is it? It looks like it's using... Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was... Because the Eye of Timaeus, the pose is the exact same. I thought it was copying all the poses, but I guess not. Speaking of box sets, we need a second Dual Devastator. We kind of do. That would be pretty nice. Or another dual power set. I wouldn't be objecting to that. Give us some more alt arts for some cards. Pay 2,000 life points. Tribute a warrior monster. Banish up to 3 legendary dragon spells with different names from hand and or graveyard. Special summon that many legendary knight monsters with different names from hand, deck, and or graveyard. So that's how you would get your legendary knights out on the field. Crush Guard Virus, Mirror Force, Tyrant Wing, Dark Paladin, very cool. Amulet Dragon, very nice. What did you do again? Fusion summon with the above materials or the Eye of Timaeus. If it's special summon, target any number of spells in the grave. Minimum of 1. Banish those targets. This card gains 100 attack for each banished by this effect. If it's destroyed, target a spellcaster monster in the graveyard, special summon it. Very cool. Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. Fusion summoned or with Eye of Timaeus. Once per turn, quick effect, send a card from hand to grave to target a face-up card in the field and destroy it. That's pretty cool. Doom Virus Dragon. Special summon with the Fang of Critias using Crush Card Virus. If it's special summon, look at your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and all cards they draw until the end of the 3rd turn after this effect activates, and destroy those monsters with 1,500 or more attack. That's pretty terrifying. Especially with the hand look, just being able to know your opponent might have something dangerous that you can just play around, that'd be pretty intense. Duelist Saga was also a good set. That one was pretty good. Didn't that give us Cosmic Blazar Dragon originally? That'd be a pretty good set to get another reprint of. I don't know if my local Target is watching, but please, if you have any more cool sets, message me on Instagram. I'll come over and spend money. I'll support local businesses. We'll call it that. Tyrant Burst Dragon, Fang of Critias using Tyrant Wing. Attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Target a face-up monster you control. Equip this monster to that target. Gains 400 attack and defense. Make 3 attacks during each battle phase. That's terrifying, those 3 attacks. So give it to like a monster with 3,000 or more attack and you're just blasting through your opponent's field. Mirror Force Dragon, special summon with the Fang of Critias using Mirror Force. When a monster you control is targeted for an attack or by an opponent's card effect, destroy all cards your opponent controls. Just destroy all of it. Just wipe that field clean. Character world boxes like Joey World. Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't gotten any more world boxes. I think a Yusaku or a YuGiOh one would be pretty cool. Time Magic Hammer. It's a spellcaster. Special summon with the Claw of Hermos using a spellcaster monster. If it's special summon, target one other face-up monster on the field. Equip it to this card, or equip that target. Equip this card to it. Ugh. At the start of the damage step, if it battles an opponent's monster, roll a 6-sided die, banish that opponent's monster until the standby phase of the nth turn after its effect's activation. N equals the result. This might be the only card that has the word nth result where N equals the die roll. That's kind of an interesting way to phrase that, but that's kind of cool. Rocket Hermos Cannon. Special summon with the Claw of Hermos using a warrior monster. Special summon, target one other face-up monster on the field. Equip this card to it. It can make a second attack during each battle phase and also gets piercing damage. Very cool. Goddess Bow. Claw of Hermos using a warrior monster. Special summon, target one other face-up monster on the field. Equip this card to it. While it's equipped to a monster by this effect, negate the first effect activated by your opponent during each battle phase. Also after that, the equipped monster can make a second attack during this battle phase. Very nice. Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. Special summon with the Claw of Hermos using a dragon monster. Special summon, target one other face-up monster on the field. Equip this card to it. Gains 1,000 attack. And then 500 attack and defense for each dragon on the field and in the graveyards. Give it to a Dark Paladin and you're good to go. That's pretty terrifying. All right, let's take a look at the Cyber Dragon deck a little bit more in depth here. Hopefully I don't butcher any more card effects and names. I'm getting pretty tongue twisted over here. Trying to just pronounce some of this stuff. Mega Fleet, that Ultra Rare Repair Plant looks really nice. Even the Cyber Network, I know it's not often used, but still pretty cool. Chimera Tech Rampage, 2+ Cyber Dragon monsters. Fusion summon, target spells and traps onto the field. Up to the number of fusion materials used for its summon, destroy those targets. Send up to 2 light machines from deck to grave. For each monster sent, this card gains an additional attack during the battle phase this turn. Infinity, 3 level 6 machine, light machines, or using Nova for the Xyz summon transfer materials. Once per turn, target a face-up attack position monster on the field, attach it to Infinity as material. Gains 200 attack for each material attached to it, and when a card or effect is activated, detach material from it to negate and destroy. This thing's terrifying. I forget about the attack position monster, just attach it to it as material. Like, you don't attach, you just target and scoop up. Like an access code talker summoned with IP Masquerena. It's like, yeah, you're cool and all, but I'm just going to scoop you up. Core is just nice. Becomes Cyber Dragon while in the field or in the grave. Grabs your Cyber spells and traps. And then also is a nice machine dupe target to grab your Cyber Dragons. I can't believe they give us 3 in this deck. Combining Red Eye's Sword with Red Eye's Darkness Dragon. That's pretty intense. That's a lot of attack boosting too. Proto Cyber, copy the name while in the field. Cyber Valley. Kind of wish they gave us 3. Again, with the machine dupe and then just being able to banish a couple of them for a couple of effects. A lot of draw power related stuff or just ending the battle phase. Very nice. Cyber Phoenix. Negate any spell or trap that targets machine monster control while it's in attack position. When it's destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, draw 1 card. Cyber Dinosaur, nice just response when your opponent special summons something from the hand. Elton's just like a nice boss monster alternative. It's like a main deck version of Over Dragon, but also has the wild effect that when it's special summoned, send all other face-up monsters on the field to the grave. All other face-up monsters. So you can just wipe your opponent's field too and then just trot on over. Like, it's non-targeting, non-destruction. They just need to be face-up. Armored Cybern for that Union equip. Machina Fortress. Discard any machine monsters. Total levels equal 8 or more to special summon it from hand or grave. Destroy by battle and send to the grave. Target a card your opponent controls. Destroy it. And resolving, and before you resolve a monster effect that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand. Discard 1 card from it. That's terrifying. 2 more repair plants. Fusion support. Evolution Burst for control a Cyber Dragon. Target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. Cyber Dragons can't attack the turn you activate this card. Just the base Cyber Dragon. So if you go into like a fusion, you're good to go. Plus, it's not once per turn. So if you go into multiples here, you can just keep popping stuff on the field. 2 Power Bonds for that additional attack boost. 2 Overload Fusions. Limiter removal. Oh, I guess they don't have machine dupe. That's kind of interesting. I would have figured it would have made sense to have machine dupe, but oh well. Nova's pretty cool too. 2 level 5 machines. Once per turn, attach material from this card to target a Cyber Dragon in the grave. Special summon it. Once per turn, quick effect. Banish a Cyber Dragon from hand or face-up monster zone. This card gains 2100 attack until the end of the turn. If it's destroyed by opponent's card effects, special summon a machine fusion from the extra deck. Very terrifying. Cyber End using 3 Cyber Dragons for piercing damage. Cyber Twin using 2 Cyber Dragons for multi-attack. Get to attack twice, which is pretty nice. Fortress Dragon just basically works like this in Clockwork Knight. It just lets you use any monster on the field, including a Cyber Dragon, any machine monster, and then it gains 1000 attack for the number of materials. So as long as your opponent has a bunch of machines, you can just place down a Cyber Dragon and then just scoop them up. I forgot Machina Fortress within this set. That's kind of a nice little inclusion. And then another Rampage Dragon. Very cool. Woo! All right, go ahead and get our stacks of cards organized here. Oops, forgot a Rocket Hermos cannon right here. Very nice. That'll, I think that should about wrap things up. Very cool. Love the box, like the artwork on it. Very nice. Love all the cards here. This will definitely fill up a bunch of decks that we've got working on, so I'll start adding in a bunch of stuff. I'll get to work on that Odd Eyes deck that probably could definitely get a head start now that we have a bunch of two playsets essentially of Skull, Crobat, Joker, so I'll start throwing him around into a bunch of decks, but very excited about that. Very excited about getting the Dark Magician deck all revamped, and sort of boosted up thanks to all the support and printings from this set, especially the Magician's Rod. Having a couple of those was definitely needed. I'll look to see if any of the Cyber Dragon stuff can be scooched in. Get yourself a drink. That was a lot of reading. It was a lot of reading. Stay hydrated. Very good. But in any case, that'll do it for today's Legendary Dragons deck stream. Thank you all for watching. Probably won't be doing much live streams until after the holidays or sometime in between, so stay tuned for the next one. We've got a top secret stream we're planning up, but should be ready to go by next time we stream, so stay tuned for any announcements on Instagram or the community page for that. But in any case, thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next time.